This week we're taking a look at a pretty unheard of sport, scooter racing. We're keeping a close eye on Jon Uffindell, who is in his second year of scooter racing.
My season this year so far has been quite disastrous. I've had 2 or 3 crashes. I missed a meeting through a holiday. So at the moment I'm bottom of the championship because I haven't scored enough points. But that's been one of them years. I've had a bad year, but I've had some good results as well. So hopefully next year I'll be a lot better.
Jon is lucky enough to be sponsored and part of a team run by Paul Baker.
I get the enjoyment of seeing the bike going well in particular, and also the riders improving. Hopefully, occasionally, more often than not, winning.
The track the riders are racing on today is a former World War II air base. It now accommodates a National Air Museum, but also miles of unused track perfect for racing on.
Compared to other circuits, this circuit is a very fast circuit. It could do a few more facilities, but other than that, it's a very good circuit. It's a little bit the track's a little bit bumpy in places, but other than that, I think it's a very good circuit.
It's certainly quite a nice circuit. It's a bit bumpy in places, which is causing a bit of difficulty. But, and it's a bit, as a circuit, it's a rather bland. It's rather too many straights, not enough corners. But I think both riders are enjoying it so far. So.
It would be a good circuit if it wasn't so bumpy, because it would be a very good fast circuit, but it's just too bumpy for for the bikes. They've got obviously updated suspension. I mean, we're riding on something that was designed 40 years ago, and it's very hard to keep on it when it is bumpy like this. But I mean, it's not a bad circuit. It's not one of the best circuits we go to. I mean, last year we were at Donington, we raced at Brands Hatch, Cadwell Park, Mallory Park. In fact, probably the only circuits we don't race on is, I'd say, Silverstone, maybe Alton Park, and all the other major circuits in the country we race on.
I think it's a really good circuit, apart from a few bumpy bits. If it was resurfaced, it'd be excellent. But there's a few dodgy bits, you know, mainly on the corner before the start-finish is a bit bumpy, and it could cause you a problem.
Last time Jon and Paula came to the track here at Elvington, it wasn't the racing that everyone was talking about.
It's about 8 years ago, I think. We got married on the way to a scoot rally, which was held on this site, and we didn't tell anybody. And when my dad arrived at the circuit, we told him then, and we had our honeymoon on this circuit.
Yeah, I don't know, we just thought it was a good idea at the time, so kept it secret from everybody as well. We just decided that's what we were going to do, get married, and didn't tell anybody.
Back in the pits, Jon's teammate Stuart has had to make a last-minute change to his Lambretta SX230.
What I've just done is change the battery because it's gone flat, and I was just checking it. The battery powers the water pump and the fuel pump. The fuel's in the frame of the Lambretta, and it needs a pump to this thing here, this pump, which brings it up to the carburettor. And our water pump is underneath, pumps it round the radiator, and without that, it won't work very well.
Jon will be competing in 3 races today, and with all the bikes in check, it's time for race 1. Six laps later, and Jon finds that he's in 21st place overall and unfortunately last in his class.
I'm not having very good luck today with anything mechanical, as it would seem.
Closer inspection reveals that the flywheel on the scooter has a problem.
The flywheel's started to split. We've got 2 big cracks running right through the flywheel there and one there. And if we leave, I think there's one up there as well. If we left it on there, it'd just fly to bits. And then that'd just wreck the ignition as well then.
With the new flywheel on, Jon is ready for his second race, hoping that he improves on his previous position.
Get my lid and my gloves on and go off down to the area down there for the next race. I get really nervous on the grid. The moment the flag goes and you get to the first corner, that's it, you just focus on what you're doing and you just go for it.
Jon finishes in exactly the same position as his last race, 21st overall and last in his class. Something is obviously not right. What went wrong?
Brilliant start, did the right first lap, and then all of a sudden something's playing up on the bike, lost some RPM, and everybody just kept coming past me on the straights. And I couldn't get back at them. So I didn't do as well as I hoped. So we're now going to have a look at the carburettor. Still, got another race to go, so we'll still make it all happen, I hope.
Jon was not the only rider to have an eventful race. Jon's wife Paula caught teammate Stuart on camera having a hairy moment.
I braked really hard going around the corner, front end broke away, I was nearly off. Got back up and forced me bloke behind me in second to go wide, and he did crash. But overall, yeah, got a win, so that's what I win there for.
Stuart and Jon were not the only ones with problems. Throughout the day it became evident that mechanical hitches were a big part of scooter racing.
The ring peg came loose, which spanned the piston ring round, and obviously it's trapped in the exhaust port and just knocked the top of the piston off and scored everything up. But it's part of the game, I suppose, one way to look at it.
Seized one engine up big style and then fitted me spare engine, set the carburettor up, but the carburettor was too rich, so I was just having trouble. Every time I went down the straight it was okay. Rolled the throttle off to go around the corner, I went to pick the throttle back up and it was just spluttering. It would not rev out, so I've been quite bad.
Broke down yesterday in practice. I broke down again in the first race. I had to go home last night to get a new crankshaft. Got back this morning and I hadn't got the piston to go with the crankshaft, so I had to go home again, another 60 mile, get a new piston and come back. And I'm down on power because it's a different crankshaft to what I normally use, so I'm not really doing so well at the moment. I'm at the back of the grid as well. So.
Back to the pits, and does Jon's wife Paula worry when he's out there racing?
No, not at all. I just wanted to beat someone. It's good when he overtakes people, obviously. When he did crash the first time, that he, the first meeting he crashed out, I was a bit worried to start with, because he did. Well, luckily, I'm glad he did it in front of where I was sitting actually, because if he'd done it around the other half of the track, I wouldn't have known. All of a sudden he's not there, and you start worrying, then worrying about what's happened, So, but luckily it was right in front of where we were sitting. So, yeah, he got up and he was okay. It's the first time I did panic, but. Yeah, no, it's all right. They've got all the body armour there's all, all the marshals, and there's all medical people about anyway. So, they're in good hands really if anything does happen like that. So, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Scooters are fairly safe. They do go wrong and people do crash, but as far as I'm aware, I don't think anybody's ever been killed. A few broken bones now and then, but nothing ever serious. The marshals are always on hand. You've got good people sorting it out, you've got the first aid here, everything. It is a fairly safe sport.
Safety-wise, I mean, I've raced this scooter for quite a while, and I have got really, I am confident in the scooter. The brakes are excellent, and there is a possibility you're going to fall off, but that's racing, and that's the same with any racing. If you thought you was going to fall off and hurt yourself, you wouldn't do it.
Jon heads to the track for the final time. A few tweaks to the bike will hopefully have ironed out any problems that he had in earlier races. Jon finishes in 22nd position out of 28 starters, last again in his class, but those problems are still there.
Last race was better, but still struggling to try and keep up with the people that I should be beating. So I don't know why I'm not up there where I should be, but Paul's going to have a look at the bike when he gets back to the workshop, and hopefully at the next one I'll be back where I should be.
I don't think we can do a great deal better this season. Stuart's leading the championship. Up until today, I think he's failed to be beaten in the championship so far, and we've only got a couple more rounds to go now. Jon, like I say, he needs to improve and become more consistent, and I need to improve the bike and help him to achieve that.
Yeah, I'm pleased. Yeah, I could be happier, but I didn't fall off this time, so I'm happy.
I've won my class now. I've won my class. Yeah, it's wrapped up, so I don't need to go to Cadwell, but I'm going to go and give it everything. Still go as if as if it's my first race. Still give it everything because it's enjoyable as well. It's not just about winning. You do enjoy riding it. It is really good fun. I mean, I don't have a lot of competition most of the time. I haven't this year, but I still enjoy riding it.
If scooter racing is something that you want to get into, it isn't as difficult or as expensive as you think.
well, just go onto the internet, and then when they're on the internet, you just look up the BSSA page, and it's got all the technical information you need for doing your setting up. So it's easy for anyone to have a go at it.
I would say buy a magazine that caters for scooterists, and look out for some of the dealers that specialise in tuning and racing, and ask for advice from them, and they'll put you in the right direction to pick up. I mean, basically, you've only got to buy a standard road-going Lambretta and just get someone who knows what they're doing to tune it and supply decent tyres for you.
There's a number of ways you can do it. You can either come along to a meeting and talk to anybody who's racing. You could contact the committee direct. You could get onto any of the big scooter shops in the country, and they can put you on to the people that you need to talk to. And it's a very competitive motorsport to get into for not a lot of money. And you can pick up a machine to race an auto, for example. You could pick one up for between £5,000 and £1,000, go out and race it and be competitive on it. Where a Lambretta might cost a little bit more, depending on which class you wanted to go into.
Best thing to do is to, I think, come to a meeting, watch it. I think they'll be sold on the idea when they've seen it and seen how fast the scooters can go. Have a word with some of the people around the paddock. Everybody's friendly, and they would point them in the right direction on who to get bits from or where to get a bike from.
The best place to start is in scooter racing is to contact the BSSO, get a set of the regulations, choose a class you want to ride in, and hopefully get some advice from other competitors. Go to a race meeting, see how they set up, how they work, and give it a try.